Inspiring Independence in the Lower Elementary Child, a Montessori Mirror of Classroom and Home. This is a parent education presentation created by me, Spencer Martel, and Svenja Zeller, Lower Elementary Guides at Sundrops Montessori School. This is a simple equilateral triangle. It has 3 legs, a base, and base angles, offering the apex angle the support it needs. Much like the simple equilateral triangle, the Montessori Triangle illustrates the complexity of a child's school community, parents and teachers being the base angles for the apex, the child. Working together with open lines of communication between all parties, parents, teachers, and students can make informed choices based on extensive observations and discussions. Any decision made is one that is rooted in meeting the child's needs above all else. It is not just the work of the parents and teachers, however, but also that of the assistants and administration and the prepared environment to provide this stability and balance for each student. All sides humbly put forth equal effort to encourage, assist, and advocate for the child. The prepared environment is the solid base of our entire triangle. In a Montessori school, the prepared environment is not just your child's classroom. All shared spaces are carefully and thoughtfully created to promote a peaceful flow and successful independent functionality. From the front door all the way to the classroom, each step should feel welcoming, beautiful, inspirational, and ready to receive. It is of utmost importance that children enter our school feeling comfortable and confident and successful. We learn how to move through and behave respectfully in each thoughtfully prepared and shared place, an honored home away from home. Here is an example of a library and study space quite literally built to the student dimensions, the tall bookshelves being accessed by sturdy step stools. It is a beautifully simple space inviting a deep level of student engagement. The second plane of development. Having worked with practical life in the primary setting, the student is now able to apply this cultural knowledge and work independently throughout their daily life. Maria says in To Educate the Human Potential, psychologically there is a decided change in personality, and we recognize that nature has made this a period for the acquisition of culture, just as the former was the absorption of the environment. Modern discoveries in neuroscience tell us of the benefits Montessori children have as they learn at a very young age to experiment and interact with their environment, work with and master concepts with their hands, and refine executive functions. By fostering independent function and intrinsic motivation, a child is free to whittle away at the neurological chaos in their developing brains, refining a more clear synaptic route from point A to point B, whether they're tying their shoe, buttoning their shirt, or spreading butter on bread. It is with repetition and the allowance of time and space that a child can enjoy the mastery of becoming an independent human. Maria says, in From Childhood to Adolescence, the reaction of the children may be described as a burst of independence of all unnecessary assistance that suppresses their activity and prevents them from demonstrating their own capacities. In our school environment, we are all community members, learning, working, and growing together. Maria says in her 1946 London lectures, when we speak about the behavior of men and animals, we refer to their purposeful movements. This behavior is the center of their practical life. It is not just the practical life in a house, cleaning rooms, watering plants, etc., that is important, but the fact that everyone in the world must move with a purpose and must work not only for himself, but also for others. It is strange that man's work must also be work in service of others. If this were not so, his work would have no more meaning than gymnastic exercises. All work is done not only for ourselves, but also for others. Our first chapter, Care of Self. You are responsible for you. We have broken the care of self into 4 main parts: awareness, cleanliness, clothing, and nutrition, each having a foundation in a child's early journey and work from nido, weak casa, all the way through casa. The expectations of the lower elementary student change to meet the developmental needs at this stage. At 6, the child enters a space of mental independence as they elaborate their mind and personality. We build on the physical and biological independence of the primary classroom, with all its isolation of difficulty offered for learning the care of self. And now we empower the child of 6 to 9 to use that practiced knowledge and apply it regularly. Body awareness. As the child continues on their journey of independence, it is important they recognize their body is their own. Hair trimming, drawing on skin with markers, etc. are all minor rebellions demonstrating this body is mine. We can help guide and scaffold these expressions of independence by remaining positive and continuing to build their body awareness, confidence, knowledge, and strategies. In the classroom, students can be in control of their bodies while interacting with their friends. We practice our understanding of the word consent and always ask permission before any physical contact. We respect no as always being an acceptable answer. At home, you can communicate the boundaries for physical contact, whether it's with other family members, friends, or neighbors. No means no can apply to hugs, kisses, tickling, and inappropriate touching. In the classroom, students can use correct terms for their anatomy and understand that private parts are neither shameful nor humorous and are just a part of our normal anatomy. Families can encourage open communication about bodies and body parts. This opens a natural door to conversations about puberty and reproduction, as well as awareness of good touch and bad touch. At school, students are invited to assess minor injuries safely and calmly and know how to access Band-Aids and ice packs in the classroom. At home, children can know how to locate these first aid supplies as well and can be shown how to apply the Band-Aids and ice packs. They can learn basic first aid and self-care for minor injuries. Parents can always supply hugs and reassurance. In the classroom, students can practice mindfulness and recognizing physical sensations and emotions, and use strategies to better help them stay in control. And at home, you can continue mindfulness practices with your student by discussing emotions and physical sensations. It can be tricky to articulate what it feels like when we are calm, safe, scared, or confused. It is just as hard for a child of 6 to articulate what it feels like before they lose control of their voices or their bodies. We can prompt them to practice describing these moments so they can begin to connect physical feelings with emotional nomenclature. We are giving them the tools to better understand how to help themselves and be able to communicate their needs more clearly. A mindfulness practice is a toolbox that is with you wherever you go. When learning about our big emotions and how they can affect our actions, it is appropriate to have a space to go and seek peace. Does your child seek refuge anywhere in particular when they are angry or sad? It can always be an invitation and a choice to take a time out to find peace instead of a command. Body cleanliness. There comes great responsibility with added independence. In a Montessori classroom, a single lesson may be presented or practiced as much as necessary for a student to reach mastery. Hygiene involves a multitude of lessons and processes that not only benefit the child, but also those coming in contact with the child. We spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year discussing hand washing and proper sneeze and cough techniques so as to quell the spread of germs. So in the classroom, students can wash their hands at many different times. Before food preparation, after being in the garden, after using the restroom, before and after snack, and after sneezing or coughing into their hands. And at home, As a family, you can set the expectation for cleanliness, including the frequency of hand washing and the frequency of bathing, dental care, and if applicable, deodorant use. Students can check themselves in a full body mirror to clean off dirt or food from their face or clothing. And at home, a mirror can be hung in the child's room or at their height in the bathroom to aid in tasks such as cleaning the face or brushing the hair. Students can manage their own toileting needs independently in the classroom. And at home, family bathrooms can be set up to encourage independence in all areas of physical hygiene. There is a profound impact on a child's sense of self when they feel confident and comfortable in their own personal care. These morning and bedtime routines may seem tedious and exhausting, but they can become a beautiful meditation on self-care. We must practice with determination and diligence so that over time it becomes a simple and respected part of our day. Clothing. This is one of our shared fundamental needs as humans. As your child begins to seek a deeper understanding of their culture and their place, we must offer opportunities for them to expand without the obstacles of meeting their own fundamental needs. We are not here to do for, but to help guide, creating successful yet independent opportunities for growth and development. Self-expression is powerful, and we can have meaningful discussions about appropriate clothing, allowing for the child to remain autonomous in their choices. In the classroom, students can wear successful clothing they can manage independently, whether robing or disrobing. And at home, children can pick out and put on their own clothes. We have dressing frames in the classroom for students to practice tricky fine motor skills, like lacing, buttoning, tying, etc. And at home, you can play dress up, practicing tricky fastening scenarios by using the real thing. In the classroom, we have ample opportunities to practice our fine motor skills with practical life works and pre-handwriting materials. And at home, you can find fine motor practice in handcrafts as well, such as sewing, crocheting, finger knitting, etc. Wearing successful clothing like Velcro or slip-on shoes or tops that have snaps and zippers help a student feel confident as they are learning these tricky fastening scenarios. At school, we have dressing frames or clothes for students to be practicing buttoning, lacing, tying, etc. And at home, you can be practicing these too, with tie shoes that students are excited about wearing or various articles of clothing. Nutrition. We have discussed the child getting to know their body and their clothing, bringing us to the child fueling their body. Involving your child at a young age in the process of preparing, cooking, and eating invites a deeper connection to this fundamental need. It may also open new doors to foods if they are in control of preparing it. Giving your child the responsibility of preparing and packing their own lunch also helps them become more aware of their own needs and how to satisfy them. It also helps them become more aware of all the steps involved in preparing, cooking, enjoying, and cleaning. In the classroom, students are responsible for preparing, consuming, and cleaning up snack. And at home, children can have the freedom and responsibility of getting or preparing their own snack when they feel hungry. In the classroom, students are responsible for consuming and cleaning up their own lunch space. And at home, children can prepare and pack their own lunch. At school, we eat brain food and discuss making nutritionally sound choices for ourselves. At home, you can give a variety of healthy options so the child feels empowered to make a good choice for themselves. Our next chapter, care of the environment. Everything has its place. We have split this chapter up into two parts: owning and organizing spaces, and job chart. In the classroom, cubbies and shelves are used for personal items, and each student has a space for his or her things. At home, the family can have a space where personal items, such as shoes, bags, folders, are kept. Each item should be assigned a designated space. In the classroom, shelves are organized by subject area and degree of difficulty or abstraction. Every item has its place. And at home, materials for household chores can be placed thoughtfully and successfully. Knives and other cooking tools in a special drawer in the kitchen, brooms and rags, and cleaning materials in a caddy in the pantry, etc. In the classroom, shelves display only materials that are used regularly. All other materials are stored away out of sight. Materials are rotated as needed to reflect the movement through the curriculum. At home, the child's own shelves in his or her room can also be on a rotation. Items that are not used regularly can be stored away and replaced with more interesting items. In the classroom, materials on shelves are accented by lamps and plants to give the feeling of comfort and to be aesthetically pleasing. The child's room can appear clutter-free and can be simple for the child to maintain. Plants, pets, and lamps all add to the purposeful feeling of a cohesive, manageable space and give a sense of ownership to the child. Having organized spaces, such as in the entryway, to successfully manage outer layers, shoes, bags, etc., will help the transitions in and out of the home environment. The cleaning supply space for a toddler or CASA student might look like this, but it just clearly demonstrates how we can help the child maintain organization by creating specific spaces and using labels for each material. So at home, it might be in a caddy, in a cabinet, or in a broom closet, but we can know specifically where each item goes. Children can choose what they want in their room, what goes on their shelves, and what goes into storage in order to keep their personal space theirs, as well as clean and uncluttered. This is a great opportunity to go through old things we may not need anymore and donate to specific causes. The job chart. Our jobs in the classroom are organized by year, each year gaining more responsibility and freedom. For example, the head chef, a third year, plans out a snack list and concept for each day of the week, goes grocery shopping on Monday morning, and comes back to balance the classroom bank before preparing everyone's snack. Each morning, the chef prepares everyone's snack. So far, we have had students make scrambled eggs, muesli, borscht, mini pizzas, and so much more. In the classroom, students come up with what needs to be done to keep our community happy, healthy, and beautiful. And at home, you can come up with what your home community needs to function optimally. In the classroom, we have a job chart that rotates. First year, second year, and third year students have developmentally appropriate jobs. At home, you can create a job chart that involves each member with developmentally appropriate jobs for your child. In order to be a functioning part of our classroom community, we give lessons and create successful job duty charts to follow. At home, you can teach your child lessons on how you do and expect specific jobs to be done at home. This example family job chart reflects almost all of the jobs we have at school. Having practice with these practical life skills at home helps your child be successful at school too. Experiential learning, our final chapter. We have split this up into two parts, going out and going in. To quote Maria Montessori in Education for a New World, education is not what the teacher gives. Education is a natural process spontaneously carried out by the human individual and is acquired not by listening to words, but by experiences upon the environment. As the child of 6 to 9 seeks their culture and place, we must allow them to engage with the world. During the school year, we organize and promote going out experiences as much as possible. Sometimes our experiences take us to others' personal spaces, such as homes and cars. Going out. Students can practice grace and courtesy in public places. This includes greeting people, thanking people such as bus drivers, cashiers, servers, etc., holding open doors, letting someone else go first, having polite conversations, and maintaining a low voice volume. At home, families can encourage children to practice grace and courtesy while running daily errands, such as going to the grocery store, bank, or pharmacy. Polite greetings and conversations are always appropriate. Children can practice keeping their voices at a low level when in indoor public spaces. In the classroom, students can practice shaking hands and introducing themselves using manners that are deemed appropriate in our Western culture. And at home, you can discuss the manners you feel are acceptable outside of the home. Do we shake hands upon meeting someone? Do we use ma'am or sir? Students can practice safety in public places, especially when walking on the sidewalks or streets as a group, when using public transportation, or when visiting a destination with a high volume of other people. At home, families can set the expectations for safety in public places, including practicing safety in parking lots, on streets, and in large public spaces. Address stranger danger in a non-threatening but informed way. Students can practice their table manners when sitting in a restaurant or cafe, understanding that there might be different expectations of public manners versus manners at home. And at home, you can decide how to behave in restaurants and can practice at home before going out. Elementary-age children can order their own meals, ask the server for menu clarification, and express allergy concerns. At school, students can practice their audience manners when attending the theater or symphony production. At home, families can set and practice expectations for audience manners, including going to the movie theater. Before we go on our going out, we practice in the classroom environment and have the same expectations when we're eating at lunch that we would have if we were going to a restaurant. At home, you can set this same example, practicing these grace and courtesy manners in your space before going out and maintaining that consistency. Going in. At school, when we enter or exit any space, we move in a thoughtful and peaceful manner. At home, you can make sure your child is aware of any special procedures when entering or exiting your home environment. We walk in single file lines on the right side of the hallway and wait patiently at doorways, saying after you. At home, you can discuss how to move in throughway spaces courteously. In the classroom, we use quiet hands to signal we have a question or comment, whether we're in group settings or just independently asking the teacher a question. At home, you can come up with a silent signal that allows children to practice respect and patience when needing attention. In the classroom, students allow people to come out before going into a space. And at home, you can discuss how going in always happens after others have come out, like in an elevator. We use that same practice when we're entering a building, allowing people to come out before we go in. We enter our classroom peaceful and barefoot. At home, you can discuss how others' homes may also have special procedures to show respect. Do you take your shoes off before entering the home environment or hang your jackets up in a special place? Students know and are expected to follow the rules of each vehicle we have the privilege to ride in. You can discuss car manners. The car is also a personal space to be respected. In the classroom, we greet each other kindly and request consent before hugging. And at home, you can help children recognize how you greet each other entering and exiting your home and how others may have different practices. In conclusion, we, as the parents, teachers, and administrators, must come together in the singular goal of uplifting the child. This does not involve mowing or clearing the child's path for them or hovering to do for whenever there may be struggle. We can be in the business of supporting and guiding and allowing the child to become themselves through struggle and perseverance. In Education for a New World, Maria says, we must help the child to act for himself, will for himself, think for himself. This is the art of those who aspire to serve the Spirit. Thank you for watching.